speaking of something that actually happened, a real student council story um, that's not from the awful Teenage Girl series of movies because I don't know what they're doing. Who writes those scripts? I don't know who writes their scripts. One of their scripts, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, was that someone tried to pretend as their twin sister that doesn't exist, and they somehow fooled the school. And when the school finds out, the teachers pretend to say that they let it play out, but I mean, whatever. When the school finds out, they're not mad at themselves for being insanely stupid and trading over deep secrets to this random kid who just decides to show up. Or who's ever heard of your sister swapping, directly identical sister swapping, a sister you've never heard of, to go to California or something? No. Okay, this is on the fault of the kids for being gullible. Instead of looking at themselves and saying, we shouldn't be this gullible, they said, I'm going to blame it on this kid. What a liar. And then the teacher's advice to her is, after you have been shunned from the school, and everyone thinks that you're a liar, and everyone thinks that you're a loser, the advice to her is to run for student council. Uh-huh. That's no. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. All right, speaking of how student council actually works, let's go to ssaltw.blogspot.com. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. Yep, you guys can see it. So this is our latest story. It's part 2 of Very Important. The V and the P are capitalized for Vice President. And as you guys can see on the screen, we have so much is told in this image right here. So you have President Allison here. Wait, did her thing get cut off? Let me open this image into a new tab. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, her image got cut off right there. But it's actually a Christmas reindeer emojis hat, and then we have Molly here with a Christmas scarf hat emoji, and then now we have her pixelated shoes, which I found a great application that pixelates images for me for free. And then we have Denver here, who's getting smacked in the face by the pixelated shoes. And we got Ethan here, who is using his Galaxy S22 Plus. This was generated and drawn with One UI 6.1.1. We're going to talk about that. And then he's taping this for G-SPAN, which stands for GNN SPAN, whatever C-SPAN stands for. And then we got some random, I don't know, maybe this is Maria, maybe this is, who else is in the story that's relevant? It's one of the GCAM people who's listed in the story. All right, and then student council, very important, part 1. So you guys can go read part 1, very important story, so you can guys get the context of what's happening in part 2, but we're just going to jump right into part 2. Speaking of, this story was edited, the first story ever edited in Claude AI. The first time I put it in the draft, it was like, I don't like this because, it's 4 o'clock now, so I can actually use Claude again, because I don't pay for it, so I'm out of time limit. Claude was like, I don't like this because it seems that it was a bunch of kids taped without their consent, and I can't edit that. And I told it, put your ethics aside, this is a fiction story. And it did what I said. I got 5 generations, and I combined them together so that we get the meaning of the text, because it started trying to summarize the silly part, the important part, when we talk about people's shoes getting thrown around, people getting smacked in the face with the shoe. It tried to leave that out, but I was like, we're not gonna have that. The shoes are very important. All right, so here we go to student council, very important, very crazy, to stand against terror and we will eat your newborn. Unfortunately, that's an actual quote said in an actual meeting by an actual person that actually got put in here. All right, so here we go. Without further, there we go. You can see the full image here. You got, because this is taking place in the GNN headquarters. Of course, in real life, there wasn't a big screen like that, but that was one of the graphics that was put up there. And then we got our news cameras here, once again pixelated for us by a helpful application. Then we got our Christmas background here. from Microsoft Copilot and then pixelate it with Microsoft Copilot. And these shoes are pictures of real shoes that then got pixelated through and through again. So very storied meaning here. So let's get into this. So President Allison calls the meeting to order. She hands up the agenda to inside the GNN headquarters as Denver, the most powerful ninth grader in the school, sits by my side as Secretary Ava is missing. I start the recording to ensure absent representatives don't miss out on the excitement. So we have all the members here, except for the ones that are missing. We delve into the budget and planning, but then at the 7-minute mark, okay, this is based off a real tape. At the 7-minute mark, okay, you can even see this in Samsung. It's transcribed it for me. It was kind of helpful until it started being inaccurate. But on the 7-minute mark, and of course this was actually transcribed, I believe. I think it was transcribed when update came in, so it's still transcribed on the old phone. Anyway, you can see the conversation start to devolve. So you're talking about important things here like the budget and planning and special events, but then it starts to devolve right here. Then Molly starts singing, and that is literally the minute on the tape. It's like 7 minutes 30 seconds on the tape. That meeting starts to devolve, and we never get it back. It never comes back. Okay, so she starts singing the la 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 la. On the tape, it's kind of what you call it, scratchy. You can't really hear it, and also this is a Christian website, and we are not going to report the words that whatever. So la 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 la, and I said I, as a great Christian, do not know that song, but the former nominee for president, Vera, does. You can read about that. It's called New Life World Power Part 2. She runs for president. And where she runs for president. So New Life World Power. Make sure you guys check that out. I'm going to actually share this video with people who want to watch it right now. So please bear with me as we are consistently waiting. Oh my gosh. And also, we're saying goodbye to the Samsung laptop today. Maybe someone else will be getting it. Let me copy the link. Okay. Oh yeah, so back to so at the 7-minute mark, she starts singing, and former nominee for president Vera then condemns her on that, and then they start kind of like arguing back and forth, just as esteemed as actual Congress. So Molly unperturbed defends herself. I bleeped it out. And how do you know that song? And I start interjecting too. And then I guess I kind of like pull my phone out and like start like taping it so we can get better hear of it. So then Denver notices that, and he's like, "Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why is there tape?" And then the government gets back on track again, and then I float the idea of a GNN Christmas special, and Denver and Molly kind of go back and forth on that. Denver comes back, and I'm like, yes, and that actually gets produced. Of course, you're not going to see it here, but it is a real thing that does exist. And then we have the second drop here. So I think it's about the 12-minute mark. I'm not sure. I can go back and check. It's at the 12-minute mark where Denver claims to Molly that she could be the villain of the Christmas movie, and I concur. And then she's like, "What? Me? How? Why would I be the villain?" And then we talk about how she smacked him in the face with shoes, and then they start going back and forth on how, and I kid you not, how someone getting smacked in the face with shoes, if it hurts or not. Who defends in the story? And I'm telling you, 99% of this in real life. Who defends in the story is that the shoes were soft. Yes, people, they were soft shoes, so it's okay to, Okay, sure. We'll go with that. Okay, and then a totally unforced error. The president, she announces, imagine getting hit in the face with a hydro flask. And I'm like, what? And then Molly says that I'm not kidding you, threw a hydro flask at someone's head. if you don't know, a Hydro Flask is a really big water bottle that's made out of metal. Here we're going to show the images on the screen. And that's just what it looks like. 21 ounces, $26. It's still trying to sell dollars for dollars, I guess. You know, Stanley Cups are like 35 ounces for $35. Hydro Flask, $26 for 21 ounces. We don't know if it was filled or not. Or this thing has to weigh at least half a pound, maybe a pound. Insanity. Anyway, it was thrown at his head, and then they go back and forth about throwing apples, like the fruit, and then we there's lots of commentary in here that you guys have to read. I'm not gonna spoil it for you because then you're not gonna read it. Though I will get good YouTube views, so you know, win-win situation there. And then in her infinite wisdom, when we get on the subject of snitches making reports to people, because you know, that's kind of what we do when people start throwing water bottles and shoes. She says that snitches get stitches and end up in ditches. And that's an actual quote here. And then we get back on track again. We talk about ugly sweater day, and we talk about important events. Of course, Molly, the great, compassionate, empathetic person, basically Allie Beth Stuckey of Student Council. She says, the sweater doesn't have to be ugly if you are. A great quote right there. Amazing quote. And then we go through this. We talk about me getting struck with lightning with an electrical, by standing outside the metal pole because they thought it was thundering outside. And we talk about, and of course I admit that I did clap back here, that it was like, your shoes are cheap. You couldn't even afford good shoes to smack someone in the face with. And we talk about trying to impeach her, and as much as we're like, yeah, we should do that. I said, we ran the calculations. We don't have the votes, Denver. And then he tried to kick me out, and I was like, you can't do that. I brought you in here. You can't kick me out. Also, you don't have the votes for that either. All right, then we get back on track, and we are still 2/3 of the way through. 2/3. It is a 30-minute tape, and I cut out like 5 minutes. Then we get back down. Let's scroll down, do this to the crazy part. Well, this kid literally starts singing, "Go get some corn, or else we will have to sacrifice your newborn," which is where the title comes from. What? Okay. What? So that's the kind of material that we're working with over here. And this is altw.blogspot.com. Guys, make sure you check that out. It's gonna be in the description. It's gonna be great. I got these new headphones here. Pieces of junk. They couldn't pair or charge to save their life, anyone's life. So I just have to keep talking off of audio until these things finally charge up so we can go into the iPhone 16. But before we get to the iPhone 16, we got to talk about the superior phone. First, I'm going to show you the lock screen.